Hello, everybody. Sorry, I had a real bad case of heartburn for a second. Alright, so welcome to episode 5 of Moonstruck Saga. Today's game is Caram's backstory game that finally panned that off. I think he's like one of the first people that played the backstory game, and we're finally getting to it. Don't worry, Isaac, you're up next as far as I know. Um, oh, okay. Um, Touch portal's fucking up for Nika. Sorry, everybody. She's working on it. I'm sorry. You hear that? Hear that, Warlord? She's still fucking annoyed, and it's your fault.
Literally, it doesn't want to. Sorry, it doesn't want to. I don't know why.
We had hats. Like, no. We had hats yesterday.
They worked fine yesterday.
And the day before.
Not today. Today they don't want it.
One day we'll figure out what's going. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so, real quick before we even get into today's game, there have been multiple buzzings about the idea of more speakeasies. And I just wanted to talk about that, that it is a thing that we would like to do, but like I said in the suggestions chat, and not everybody checks that, and that's fine, that we would have to cut back on other games to do that. And we're not sure about the trade-off, because I'm like sure that some people would be, oh yeah, that's fine, like a couple less games, but we never want to leave people out. We want to have everybody have at least a game a month, everybody that wants to. If you can't, that's fine. But so we're trying to figure that out, trying to like figure out how it works, because like random speakeasies, like, oh, let's just do a speakeasy today, that'd be fun so we can talk and stuff. They are a lot of work to plan out. They are like, it's a lot of work to do all like the maps and stuff and just like get ideas for them to have scenes. But we are thinking about it. We have that in mind. I saw that Midnight posted something about it yesterday, and I responded to that. But also, like Lurid during the last speakeasy, where I apologize for it running so long. This vehicle situation's really loud. But just so you guys know, we are thinking on it. Like, we are actively trying to figure out a way to get more speakeasy sessions in. But yep, that's all. So I'm gonna introduce today's game characters and players. Also, yeah, you'll see. All right, so we've got Caram, played by Prophecy of Zero.
Pleased to be here.
We got Ammon, played by Tofu.
It's not my fault this time.
It still probably is. We got Cash, played by Silk.
Good evening, everyone. The delusion here is quite high.
And we got Midnight, played by Kawari.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, so we are going to get started with just a simple... We got Ammon hanging out with Caram, doing the tarot reading situation. Took me forever to find this tent map, by the way. And I believe Ammon has given everybody tarot readings in the past. This is just a little retcon of how it went for Caram getting one from Ammon.
Good evening, Caram. Please come in and take a seat.
Hey, Ammon. Several of the crew members were saying that you've done it, so supposed to come in at least try it once.
Ammon sits and starts shuffling the cards. No, I'm glad you came in. I've been a little curious to read you. You know, the readings go different for every crew member, and I like getting that general vibe for everyone.
So, how does this work?
I'm gonna start shuffling more, and I want you to tell me when you want me to stop. I'll go ahead and start shuffling now.
That's it?
I just need you to tell me when.
I guess now then.
Ammon draws 3 cards, and they are all face down. He pulls out flips over the first one, and we see Temperance reversed. Extremes, excess, and a lack of balance. Too much of anything can lead to ruin. I feel like that's a pretty common concept. Your focus is sharp and unwavering, but what have you been leaving forgotten? Something has been forgotten in your quest for your truth.
Hmm.
He draws the second card, and it is the Four of Wands reversed. Lack of communication, instability, and familial conflicts. Breakdowns in communication between family and friends have led to moments where there's a thick tension, and maybe there is an atmosphere where there's no stability. Your home life has therefore been difficult for you.
All right.
The third card, he flips it over, and it's the mirror card that the Oracle gave him on in yesterday's game. When Caram looks into it, the reflection staring back at him is Bola.
All right.
How did that get in? I didn't have this card in my deck.
Not the first time I've seen Bola in a mirror.
There is a silvery aura around Caram's head, Ammon. It's almost like, to Ammon, it feels like it is a hallway leading to a door. And it feels very similar to when Nyx and when you yourself have gone into dreams. It is tangible. It is right there. Like, into you, Ammon, that if he were to fall asleep, you could open that door.
Ammon stares at Caram for a few moments. I need you to trust me on something. A little experiment. I also need let's not let this get back to Kay.
You have said everything that I do not like. What's the plan?
I have never seen a doorway into the unconscious so strongly than what is radiating off of you right now.
Why is it always the dreams?
I know it's not. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but I'm fairly confident that you're going to get an answer that you've been looking for.
You're not going to take a no for an answer, are you?
I mean, your consent is very important here, but I understand your reservations, but this mirror was given to me by an oracle in hell, and I have been told that it's going to reveal itself when needed, and we have this moment right now. I I'm asking for your trust and faith in me, which I know we don't know each other very well, but I'm fairly confident that things are going to work out.
Was this given to you by chest?
No.
Am I going to have to deal with this alone?
You don't have to.
Hmm.
Is there anyone you're thinking that you might want to drag along?
I think Cass is busy. So I'll take the other person that's been stuck in my head, and the person that's really going to be upset with... Let's not tell him what the plan is until it happens.
Well, you see, the great thing about that is your consent is the key factor here. So,
Great. He's going to be very upset later.
you know what? I can probably deal with it.
All right. And Karam's gonna radio for Cash in midnight.
Nice
I
go
love-
radio back. Nice go radio back. Social call or feel like come armed.
Karam looks at Ammon.
Technically, you will have your armaments in the dream, but I'm sure you're not going to need them. I didn't when I went into Pogs and Casters.
If it's my dreams, we're gonna need them.
Fair enough. I'll leave that to your discretion.
Bring weapons.
You didn't hurt yourself, did you? Is that why you're calling?
I haven't hurt myself yet.
At least you're learning. Okay.
So we're actually gonna meet in Karam's bedroom, for the record. You gotta be comfortable, you know, if you're gonna go into a dream. And you could pass out in not Ammon's bedroom, but Karam's bedroom. You and your M's.
The both of you would enter and seeing Ammon preparing incense and candles around, and he just kind of smiles nervously.
Ash's eyes narrow. What is this?
Like a ritual of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight, you'll be familiar with this. We're going inside my head.
Okay, at least I have warning this time.
None of these
Yes.
smoke tokens are good.
Cash, you're not going to like this.
No, I already don't like how this sounds. What do you mean by that?
A doorway to Karam's unconscious has bursted open, and there's an answer that he's been looking for, and I'm through my tarot reading, I'm fairly confident that we can get him the answer he needs. And I'm hoping that you guys, as his friends, would be willing to help him with this.
Uh-huh. And what does this door lead to?
Karam shrugs. My dreams?
Sounds like fun. When do we start?
Ammon is going to hand Caram a tea. He then takes out a vial of blue liquid. This was the vial of the he got from when him and Leo and them took down that cult or whatever it was, and it's the liquid that goes into memories. He just puts a drop in it. This tea is a special blend. It it's night go the fuck to sleep tea essentially.
But poison.
No.
No,
Me and you make very different kinds of tea.
like think of like you're gonna sleep really good and wake up really rested, which also might be really good for you.
Rob just shrugs and drinks it.
Uh,
Okay, make sure you're all comfortable and snug in bed. Amon's gonna look to Cash and Midnight. Please do not pull anything out of the dream. I do not want to deal with that repercussion again.
mhm.
Wait, what do you mean again?
Shh, sleep. Shh.
Don't worry, I'll take care of anything that tries to escape.
The idea of Ammon putting his finger on Caram's lips and just going shh, shh.
Literally, though, and then just like a little head pat, like sleep. Shh, shh, shh.
Cash would probably just lean over to Midnight and must have gotten yelled at by somebody.
Rob just kind of glares a bit as he pats his head.
Alright, Caram. All the color slowly begins to seep from the world as your eyes like feel so heavy. And like your eyelids feel so heavy. And as they close, you hear the sounds of a bustling city that sounds so familiar. Like it's very echoing. It's very you hear cars honking. You hear like the sound of the same cars just driving by. Chatter so loud. Like just huge groups of people. You feel younger, more what's the word I'm looking for? Exuberant? It's like you feel fulfilled. You just finished a job. It was great. You had so much fun. And you hear laughter. Bola's laughter. Midnight and Cash and Ammon. The door that Ammon's talking about becomes visible for you two as well, and it is growing. It is at the end of Caram's bed. It is just a doorway, the same as any other door, but it came out of nowhere.
All right. Both of you, I need you to walk in and try not to mess too much with the past here or what we're seeing. I don't know how fragile the dreamscape is. I will not be going in with you. I'm going to send you both in, and I will be out here to just monitor and manage. And I have ways to pull you out if needed. Don't feel like I'm just throwing you into danger. I will be able to pull you out.
All right.
I also am really hoping that we can keep this whole situation very discreet.
Who yelled at you?
Okay?
Okay.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just as long as this doesn't get into Kay's lap, we'll be good. Anyway, I trust you both. Good luck. Do you have any questions for me?
What did you do last time? You know what? Never mind.
That's
I'm
later.
just gonna go inside.
That's later. Midnight will feel Cash grab a part of his clothes, just out of a reflex, because dream things make him uneasy. Personally,
Don't worry, Cash. You got the Nightmare Eater here. Remember?
Before they go in, Ammon is going to hand Cash the mirror card. I'm not sure if you will need it, and I'm not sure how to use this, but just in case, something is telling me in my gut that you might need to take this. I was
All
told
right.
it can ward off nightmares, maybe? I'm not 100% sure, but please, just for my own peace of mind, take this.
He'll take the card and slide it into his journal and put it in his coat. All right. I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep it close just in case.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Reassuring.
So as you step through, and our fifth character today is Shy playing Bola.
Hello.
You guys, Midnight and Cash, you are in a city street and it is vague. Like there is not much color going on at all. Like it is black and white. The only characters that you are seeing in color are Caram, Bola, Midnight, and Cash. Like those, the four that are in color are who is in color. But Caram and Bola, you just finished a rather exciting, but for you, fairly easy job. What was it? What did you guys just do for Donovan, your boss, in this city? Also, that night sky that you're seeing above you, that's not the sky. That's just painted. Like, you are in Dactyloid, the Fist City, the City of Five Fingers. Magic is banned from this city, like, with extreme prejudice. These cars driving by, null metal. The entire city, for Cash and Midnight, this is still a dream, so it's not hurting you. But you do feel it's oppressive. It is like almost like a sauna in here of just like stale, non-magical air. Like for you, it's almost gross. But for Caram and for Bola, like you two, this is great.
I think people were specifically trying to smuggle magical weapons into the city, trying to get a leg up on some of the people inside the city.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Anything you want to add?
Are we talking like roughed him up a little kind of mission, or?
Oh yeah, fucking Donovan doesn't give a fuck who you kill as long as it doesn't come back to him. Kill or hurt. Like,
I think, and tell me if you're okay with this, I think we only killed one, and it was specifically a mage. The others, probably not walking for a bit.
so you left the city, took some people out, and are smuggling magical items back into the city?
I don't think we're smuggling the... I think that people were trying to do that to use it against us.
Okay. Somebody else was like, all right, somebody else in the city had magical items, and you went and took them.
You know, it's more fun if we take them. Don't know what we do with them, but
Donovan would love to have them. Now, Caram, like, you are in that mindset of this being a dream, but you look over on the street that you've been on a million times. You walk this way. That's the way to Donovan's club. And you see them. You see Cash and Midnight, like, stepping through a doorway and appearing here. And as soon as you see them, this dream becomes like a lucid dream. Like, you are in full control of it. Like, all of your memories come back. Like, you remember your time with the silver thimble. You remember your conversation with Ammon leading up to this moment. But Bola does not change. Like, Bola is Bola.
I think he holds his head for a moment, shakes it, and then just kind of, with like a subtle wave of his hand, motions for those two to follow.
And I will follow, but keep his distance for the moment, unless I'm just as firm closer.
Likewise.
Oh, absolutely. Let's. This is the outside of Donovan's club. The bouncer that Caram and Bola, you both know very well. This is Teddy. Teddy is a dwarf, specifically a dwarf from Dactyl. They do not have the beards. They are short and stocky. Caram, you would know from many times sparring with like dwarves that these guys are tough. They're super sturdy. Nobody's pushing them over. It's a wide stance.
How's it going? The boss inside?
The boss is in, and he's just like, how'd the mission go?
Intercepted a small delivery inside the city. You gotta make sure that gets to a safe spot for us.
You see him like sniff the air a little bit. He's like, ugh.
I know.
Don't
I
worry,
had to-
we'll get it taken care of.
It's like, he looks over at Bola, and he's just like, why don't you let me buy you a drink tonight? Like, in this Bola, he's asked every time you've ever seen Teddy. He's always asking you out.
I appreciate it, but I'm gonna be a little busy tonight. I'm sorry.
He's like, ugh. Fine, one of these days you'll agree. I'll just keep asking. Oh. Midnight and Ash. As you wander this, like as you follow them, you are seeing people that look like this. Everybody that Caram Caram does not talk to is like in a very ambiguous looking shadow. Like, he just doesn't remember them fully. So the city is full of people, but they don't have faces.
So,
But go ahead.
seeing figures like that makes him extremely uneasy.
Midnight's taking it as a hint to specifically watch out for people with more form, just because that'll likely mean something's going to happen with them.
Just out of a bit of curiosity, is any of the marquees that are seen, are they legible?
Um, yeah. It because I get all my information from '90s cartoons. Um, and like because of the way the AI works. You guys ever see the episode of Batman, the animated series, where he learned that he was in a dream because he couldn't read anything?
That's
None of the.
yep.
I'm glad that
Yep.
I'm not the only one who read
I
that and that saw
think
the
I've
episode.
I think I've actually seen that episode, but it's been so long.
It's like, so yeah, you can't read in dreams, but if you look at the marquee long enough, at the same time Caram looks up and remembers the marquee, this place is called the Hanged Nail.
Hmm. Neat. I just wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, like this is a real place. But if Caram's not looking at it, you can't read it.
I figured it was a situation that anything that has a vivid memory fills out.
But by all means, like you two can look around the city and like try to learn stuff about the city if you want. Because like all of it is true, but not tainted, but tinted by the fact that memory is unreliable, you know?
Hmm. It's curious as Cash would be to go look around to check things. He'd feel more comfortable sticking with Caram and Bola because something's playing out and he doesn't want to leave him behind.
And Midnight's just mostly studying the people and trying to keep track of the layout a bit so he can kind of have an idea if we end up in this place, information he can give to the rest of the crew.
Absolutely. Give me 2d20, Midnight. Oof, tough choice. Now you can learn something. Oh, unless you wanted to use your
Not yet.
you pocket the orb. Okay. All right, Midnight. You your tough choice is you can learn about this city. Basically, map out where you are in the city, but like something is gonna change. There's some like level of ominous coming. Like you can feel. Midnight. You know nightmares. There's a nightmare coming. Not just a nightmare, but a night terror on its way, and that is going to hinder Caram from learning the truth. There will be something in here with you.
Hinder, but it won't completely stop all chance of it, right?
Absolutely not. No, like as long
Okay.
as you
Yeah,
keep the night terror away from off Caram, and like let Bola and Caram have their mission, then you can still learn
Yeah.
what you need to learn.
I mean, we'll make things interesting, so yeah, let's go for it.
Midnight, in your like, how do you map this place out so quickly? Give me that picture.
Oof. So stop me if I go too far line here, but I think because Midnight Shadow has literally eaten nightmares and been trapped in nightmares, his shadow moves pretty easily in this landscape and just kind of you just see it shifting around quickly, moving up buildings, moving around corners, and just quickly it just quickly takes in all the information really quickly, and Midnight just finds a lot of the information just kind of flood his brain.
Love it. As it fills your brain, it becomes so obvious that you are in 1/5 of a city. Like It is incredibly Art Deco brutalist. It is like you if you think the Silver Thimble is 1930s, this place is fucking 1930s. Um, it is. There's cars everywhere. You are seeing parts of Karam's memories. Like every once in a while, you will see a face of somebody that Karam has met. This part of the city is known as the Thumb. Like it is led by the Thumb. You see dwarven gangsters walking around, but you also see dwarven police officers, very very bobbies. You guys ever see Gangs of New York?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the police officer in Gangs of New York, played by John C. Reilly. Think that, but shorter. You see drug deals happen. Like you might not know exactly what kind of like you see a baggie of not a baggie, like a vial of green dust being exchanged for a bunch of money. You see what are basically satyrs? Not even the basically satyrs, just full on satyrs walking the street. You see a group of tingers like walking, and they are well dressed, um very 1930s, very flapper, very just like suits, like walking around the city. The city is like full of life. The one thing you never see, that you do not even feel, is a hint of magic. There is no magic in this town. One second. But yeah, you have a pretty good map layout of the Thumb of Dactyl. It's 1/5, but you could guide people around here. If you come back here, you can show people around.
Okay.
But then you feel like you're being watched. And I think you wouldn't see it, but the camera would show it.
Oh.
As Ammon would feel it too. Let me. This mission is tied to the amount of HP and AP Ammon has. You can stay in here as long as Ammon is like safe. Ammon just took 2 HP and 2 AP damage from that choice. He has 12 of each, so he's at 10 of each now.
Oof.
Mm.
That's going to be all your tough choices from here on out. Like failed rolls and tough choices cause Ammon pain. As long as that's cool with Ammon.
I'm gonna ask something, but I can't think of how to word it. Shit.
Yeah. And they will turn to Cash. Be careful about any magic you use here. I mean, dream or not, if anything here is able to notice, it might be a problem.
Yeah. Feels pretty stuffy just being here, but. Hmm.
Let me get you guys into the next room. Did you have something else, Cash? Like it sounded like you had something, but you couldn't figure out how to word it. You said.
Because it's a dream or a nightmare, would he be getting a different vibe from this place than like Midnight would be able to pick up, if that makes sense?
Yeah, what are you trying to sense for? Like, what is there anything you're specifically looking for?
It's the problem. That's why I'm having a hard time verbalizing what I'm thinking of, because it ties back to stuff with this guy. It's fine. If I think of it, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. And you could also try to make a roll to see, like, if you could figure things out. And, like, it's not gonna, like, if you roll low, like, you will get 2d20. Like, you and Midnight will get 2d20 when you're trying to, like, look into things via nightmares or dreams. Because of who you are.
I'll try rolling a 2d20 and see. Might answer my question.
Absolutely. Ooh! Ammon. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nika's actually bumping that up to a success. She's trying to find the emote, but don't worry. The captain has bumped that up.
Thanks, Captain.
So looking around, I think because you did it after him, you see the nightmare. You see it cracking. There is trauma here. Like, something is going to happen, and it's the weird nightmare form up there starts to change and look like those weird tendrils become Caram's horns. Like, as it's like watching you. You know something bad is going to happen, and you know that you have to let it happen. If you want any answers, you have to let the bad thing happen.
Is anybody else able to see this nightmare?
If you point it out to Midnight, he'll see it.
Don't make direct eye contact with it, but I think I see the problem. Or at least a part of it. And he'd,
I think Midnight.
and he'd like hang his head that direction, but not looking at it, but he looked at it for like a second and has acknowledged that it's B that's looking at them.
I think Midnight just kind of one of his side eyes just briefly glance and he'll nod.
Let's get into the club. Don't like this thing very much.
Caram. Entering Caram and not even Bola. Bola doesn't get it. But Caram, you barely remember the bottom floor of the club on this day. Like, you can somewhat remember like music, very jazzy, very flapper, very of the era. But you remember very vividly the meeting with Donovan on this day. Oh, Teddy's not gonna be here. Teddy's gonna be outside. This is the boss. Like, now, Caram, you know that Donovan is just a middling boss. He's not actually in charge, but he runs a small thing. This is his club. He makes money for the thumb. He rules over this area. He got you and your family a sweet place to stay. Like, but to pay him back, you gotta work for him. And as you come on and as you walk in, it's like, if it isn't my two favorite tingers. And like, he takes a sip of his scotch, sets it down. He's like, "How went the mission?"
Well, I'd say all in all, it went pretty good, right, Crow?
Is Crom dead?
He's
Crom
muted
I
at the
was
moment.
muted. I'm
There it
sorry. Went just fine. Though they're starting to get more I don't know what it is, but they seem to be more interested in getting into the city. They even sent a mage with them this time.
Yeah. This times are changing over in the Pinky. This it's like the further out you get from the thumb, it's just like the less civilized people get.
Speaking of, we did happen to catch their shipment. Have a few band items heading out. They're heading to the normal spot.
You weren't seen with any contraband, were you?
Nope, got them to one of our drivers. No issues. Nobody was around at the time. Just as we need to be careful, so do they.
He nods. Rox is like, you look thirsty. Here, let me pour you a drink. And he pours you both. I'm gonna call it a black scotch. It's basically null metal in in a drink. Not like the putting the tablets in it. This is just liquid null metal in an alcoholic beverage. And they are all drinking it, by the way.
Rom just kind of swirls it a bit. They're just not making it as cleanly as they used to. Just takes a small sip.
Now, as you all know, we have some dealings in the Sterling Thicket. Sterling Thicket's where the Warpletingers are from. That's that side of the world. And Bola and Caram are from the Petrified Forest part of the Sterling Thicket. Like, they are from... It's like, your Tingers came to us looking for a way to escape the debaucheries of, air quotes, magic. It's just like a life enslaved to just herding those wisps away. Terrible. Terrible life. And I hope that I have made a good life for you all here. Would you say that we have helped each other?
I'd say we've helped each other quite a bit over the years.
Cash and Midnight, you two can be in this scene, and they do not see you unless you try to interact. But you can watch, and you do see that little night terror creeping through the window and trying to attach itself to other parts of the dream. Just so if you guys want to the dreams might change a little bit because that night terror is here. And now it's just you've done amazing jobs for us within the city limits, and we appreciate everything the Tingers do with your strength and know-how of handling and taking care of business. Now, you know about our goings-on the goings-on up there. A group of a less aligned family from the middle finger. Oh wait, no, sorry, from the index. They have begun chopping down the trees there for, of course, we have no access to wood here in Dactyl, and we would like it. They aren't cutting us in for our fair share of the business. Now, you two know the area. You two know that forest. You two know the river. And he, like, pulls out a package, and he slides it across. Like, there's a small, like, coffee table in between you. He slides it across. He's just like, this could be your last missions for us. Once this is done, all debt is cleared. You may continue living wonderful lives here in Dactyl. You may even move to a different finger if you are interested. You and your families will be safe and protected by the thumb. All we ask is for you to send them a message. If you could destroy their shipment of the lumber, let them know that that they are under the thumb.
Sounds easy enough.
Or I'm just opening up what he was given. I assume.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I assume we'll be given appropriate means to handle the job.
Absolutely. Enclosed is a very large bomb. Now, this bomb will... We've recently had a bit of a breakthrough. We have a new mechanic on our side that has come up with some very interesting ideas. Set this in the middle of the largest container ship that you can find and blow it to hell. Like, make sure you're seen doing this. Make sure the world knows that the thumb is why.
Being seen, that's quite ambitious this time.
It's a big mission. And
Sure
you will...
that
Go ahead.
you sure that they won't try to come for us?
You will have the thumb's utmost protection. In the city, in the lumberyard where we are sending you, is very minor protections. It is mostly the satyr lumberjacks that are in there. The only ones that want to set foot in that accursed land.
All I'm hearing is a couple satyrs, maybe a guard or two, and an easy in and out. All I gotta do is make sure that they're out of the blast zone so that they can tell what happened.
Absolutely. Leave witnesses. It doesn't matter if you have to take a couple out on the way. Just make sure there's enough to still see and report. Make sure that they know to step over the thumb is not done. Make sure that they know that we rule this city. We don't want any more uppity people thinking that they can step out of line, smuggling in magical items into the city. Disgusting.
Honestly, other than the part of being seen, seems like a fairly normal job.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something we can't handle.
I would never doubt you for a moment. It's like, we knew that you were the ones for the job. And he, like, lifts his glass and toasts. It's like, to a successful mission.
To successful mission.
To a successful mission.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I do kind of see where this is going.
The whole time that they've been talking, has the Night Terror been sitting there?
The Night Terror
Or has
has
it been moving?
I think it's probably been moving around the room slightly. You can, Midnight and Cash, you see it like making cracks in like the window that behind it. I mean, behind Donovan. This one's Donovan, by the way. This is Rux. Rux is Teddy's brother. I don't know if it's ever important. If it ever comes up. They have a third brother, but you'll never guess his name.
Rebby?
What? No, it's Ben. It's Teddy Ruxpin. But yeah, so it is trying to spread out and like warp this room into something else. It's just like you can feel it like cracking away at the walls. How would you two like try to stop it? Oh, do you try to stop it? Or do you let the just like in the back
You know,
of go ahead.
I do have an idea. This is Midnight's going to approach the wall, reach the Bane tendrils in a hand out, and he is going to do bloodlust recovery and try to drain the energy from the Night Terror.
Are you
Yeah.
making it obvious that you're doing that?
Pretty obvious to you, but I'm trying to not interact directly with anything. I'm just trying to focus everything on the Terror.
Yeah, give me 2d20.
Oh, I got it to that. It's 20.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just like as you consume this nightmare, you feel that like while this whole scene was going on, in the back of Caram's head, he was dreading what's to come. Like he felt it. He knows what's coming, even if he doesn't know, like, you know, somewhere in his mind, he is fully aware that something tragic is going to happen. And this nightmare is trying to prevent that from happening again. It is trying to shift the dream into maybe something more pleasant, but less accurate. So as the dream shifts for Bola and Caram, like they leave the room, and for a moment, it must have been something he heard like right afterwards, or something he put together after this whole thing happens. You hear Donovan look to Rux, and he's just like, and like Donovan lights his cigar. And it's just, see, I told you. You promised them a way out, and they will accept anything. And Rux just turns. Are you sure they'll get the job done? They are my most capable soldiers. It's going to be a shame to lose them. But get the pictures. And Rux pulls out a camera. And yes, sir. And follows after them. Rux is incredibly stealthy, though. Like Midnight, if you weren't looking for him, you wouldn't have even seen him leave the room.
Red Light definitely has to hold himself back from punching.
This is extremely. On one hand, we have to let this play out, but on another,
Let's just go before I lose my temper.
yeah.
Is Caram back yet?
Yes.
Alright. So, as you all walk out, this guy back here is going to be right here for a while. Hetty sees you all, sees Caram and Bola leaving, and she's like, done in there already?
Yes. One last job and we should be squared away.
Oh, one last job? Means we won't be co-workers. You won't be able to use that excuse to not get a drink with me, Bola.
Well, we'll see what happens when this is over, huh?
Oh, I'm sure you'll come up with some other excuse.
I can...
This is your cut. And he, pulls out, like, a manila envelope, but it's black and white right now. And inside it's just a bunch of bills. In this city, they don't use coins or gems. They use just paper money. You're cut for finding and bringing those magical items in.
It shouldn't be too hard for you guys to get rid of those ones. You did a good job of keeping them under wraps this time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're going to dispose of them the way that only the thumb knows how. Cash and Midnight, can you both roll me 2d20?
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh no.
I'm gonna make that a 20, so it's a reap and sow.
Oh, good.
So, here's the reap. The reap part of it. The 20 is you find out exactly what they do with magical items. I guess the sow part of it is that as well. You see a quick flash into a bunch of quick scenes that Caram has dealt with this guy before, and has dealt with handing off magical items that he believes are going to be destroyed. They are, in fact, being gathered and used. They are stacking them up as a form of armory. As much as they say they hate using, like they hate magic and they would never use magic, there are many soldiers, even inside Dactyl, that use these weapons.
You know,
Hypocrites.
this was before your time, Cash, but I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu.
Alan, would you be okay if Caram has his suspicions that this is already the case?
Absolutely. That's why I think that's why I think you would know. Like
I think the thing that really confirms it is that there was a mark on a specific like weapon or two that he had put out. Something that just glancing at it, well, even looking at it, you wouldn't think that's magical. And he's seen it on some people.
absolutely. And like they are not just storing these items, but they are selling them to the highest bidder. You have seen some of the upper crust definitely wearing rings that you would recognize. And there are collectors out there.
will reiterate, hypocrites.
So the travel to the lumberyard was mostly forgettable, Caram. Like, it feels like walking through a forest in a dream, but very, very, very fast. I'm personally thinking, you know how when, like, in Star Trek they hit light speed or warp drive activates? Just imagine that, but trees flying by. And then you see it. A wonderful little town. This is at the edge of the petrified forest. They are using very very powerful null metal blades to cut down trees and drop them into the water. This river leads directly to Dactyl for them to collect. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you take a boat down or did you walk? That's up to you, either one. If it's a boat, you're gonna have to be rowing against the current, but that's still fine. Like, you're strong.
I was gonna say, it wouldn't surprise me if with the cars they already have just like very like it would be primitive by today's technology standards, but it'd probably have an engine on it. But he would have parked it early on so that they wouldn't hear it coming.
Oh, I'm totally down. So, Crom, you and Bola, how did you find the correct ship that you're supposed to hit? Let me put some lumberjacks in the area. Too big! But he's so handsome.
Alright, Bola. How do we handle this? Get one in the dark, get him to spill the beans, search each container. What's our plan?
Well, we should probably search on our own merits first. Don't want people knowing what we're doing until it's too late to stop us, you know?
Please, like they could actually stop us. They aren't even well armed here.
I mean, I don't think they could, but less resistance the better.
Yeah, rather not need to spend the first couple days after this again stitches.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say, I guess we'll start with just sneaking around and looking at like specific boats and containers, seeing which ones look like they have the most.
Absolutely, I love it. Midnight and Cash. The whole place just shifted for you. The last thing you remember was like leaving the hanged nail, and now you are in this town.
Assuming it would feel
That's-
very much like our head rush.
If you want it to like give you a head rush, for sure, it will.
Well, that was a little disorienting. Yeah, Midnight just going to kind of glance around, try to get a lay of the land again.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a 2d20 for it. 2 and an 18. But the 18 is good enough. Okay. Midnight, you see multiple things that are interesting to you. Firstly, you see the axes and the saws all being edged with null metal. If not, just being solely the whole thing is null metal. You see the trees that they are cutting down. Like one tree, which would be about the standard size of a tree. I'm thinking like pine tree sizes, by the way. So not like huge redwoods, but smaller. They take days worth of work to cut down. That's how hard these trees are. They are basically like stone. One of the lumberjacks is currently like working on a tree, and it sounds like chipping away at marble. Like, and then as they get deeper and deeper into this tree, it sounds softer. And finally, as they get to basically the core of it, you see some sap pouring out. Although it is not colorful, it's very hard for you to tell what's going on. That sap, it feels weird to you, but only because it would feel weird to Caram in his memory. The sap is magic. Ancient magic, though. Older than anything you've felt, with the exception of the blood that Akana found. It's older than anything that you even saw in Tier Loa. Now you also see mosquitoes, dead mosquitoes. And they are huge. They're anywhere from 8 to 12 feet long, not counting their proboscis, which is about 4 feet long itself. And you see the fact that most of these lumberjacks in the area are heavily wounded. They are bandaged up, they are beaten up, and you see puncture wounds in many of them. And then you see it. One of these storage houses is just holding corpses of lumberjacks that have been sent out here and did not survive the mosquito attacks.
So I got another question real quick.
Yeah, sure.
When Gibbet was clearing the forests of the folk song area, did they have very similar operations? Like, does it look like Gibbet might have been influenced by these guys?
Yeah, definitely. They're using Gibbet decided to go under eventually, but to start, they were using a very similar method of clear cutting when they could. But that forest was more dangerous than this forest. Specifically for the monsters that were in it attacking, this forest is dangerous for its different reasons.
Mhm.
But yeah, very similar.
Okay. Yeah, he'll just kind of file that as things to check into.
Cash, any
So So they can't see us, right, unless we interact directly.
right? Like you could basically walk right through these people because you are watching the dream. You are not part of the dream until you make yourselves part of the dream.
He'd be sort of wandering away a bit from midnight to get a better look at the lumberjacks and the wounds that they are sporting. Just out of the curiosity of, medical professional and how well they are being treated, if at all, in terms of getting them dressed.
Absolutely. Caram, can you and Cash both roll me a d20? 17's real good. Caram got a good look at it. Don't worry, Cash. Caram got a good enough look that you don't have to use your dream magic to make it happen.
And he'd be checking them over, just being horrified that whatever they are doing this for, it doesn't really seem to be terribly worth it if they're getting hurt this much and losing this many. But that's just how he'd feel about that. And he'd also be keeping an eye out for the night terror.
Caram, when you came to this village, this used to be your tribe's land. Like, when the Tingers lived in the Sterling Thicket? When you lived in the Sterling Thicket, this was your ancestral home. Dangerous. Terrifying. Those mosquitoes, constant threat. Like, now that you have returned here into the petrified wood and seen these people, like, cutting down these trees, how bad is that, the sick house? How bad is the wounded house, I mean? Like, you're the one that saw it, so...
Yeah,
like...
I think the reason Caram knows how bad this is he did see the dead bodies and saw the sick. It's not even a sick house. It's just a big tent, because that's just how many get injured. Many of them are just a quick puncture wound, but those that were not able to be helped, just even though there's only a singular wound, they look just devastated. It's clear that that once the mosquitoes bite them, their strength is gone for days upon days. The wood, when they're chopping it even with how they're chopping it, the pieces are flying back and just cutting them up. They need better tools because they aren't being given strong enough tools to even do the job properly, even. Honestly, Karam's probably doing them a favor by shutting this down, if even temporarily, to get it run by more people.
Most excellent. Alright, Bola. Sneak around and try to find us the target, if you don't mind.
Alright. Would that be...
It'd probably be 2d20. Caram, do you think you or Bola are the sneakier two of the... Like, which one of you is the... Or do you just always work in tandem?
I think when it comes to sneaking through places, Bola was better at, and Caram followed her lead. When they were trailing people through towns, that's where Caram excelled.
Alright, absolutely. Alright, so... Both of you give me a 20-sider again. We'll take the higher. Alright, the die proved it for us.
Nice.
Told ya!
Alright, Bola. You all see this ship loaded up with goods. Loaded up, stocked to as high as they can with these logs. It is sitting in town. It is leaving tonight. It is being currently inspected by its captain. It's like a tugboat, for the record. And it is... You know that this is worth so much money.
Right.
Indigestion. Go ahead.
I think I found our target, and by the looks of it, we're gonna need to move kinda quick.
Karam's just looking at it. This is a lot for us to do this to, isn't it? I was
Yeah,
expecting a decent sized shipment, but this is huge even for our standards.
Suppose you're right. But hey, we just gotta do this, and then we're free, right?
Hearing her say that,
Do you,
Cash is gonna look to Midnight just with a look.
do you think that if we were to deviate just slightly, we might be able to get our own little share of this as well? They're wanting it all this the ship sunk and destroyed. If we only take out the front part here and get back to the boat quickly, we should be able to direct some of it off course.
Well, if you think we can do that, then I trust you.
Sure that getting his fair share will also be acceptable. Just means that we're hastening the process a bit.
Cash, now that you're back, how do you like feel about those wounds that Karam explained?
Horrified.
Okay.
And it potentially leading to the credence as to why Karam's very dubious on going and getting any kind of medical attention if this was home.
Oh yeah, I absolutely think those that tent, when somebody was like punctured through the arm, they literally took a saw and just sawed that arm off. Just, we can't let the sickness spread into you, so it's just limb comes off. You start noticing around town that many of these shadowy figures are missing limbs. That their best way of curing anything, and curing was said in air quotes, is just cut it off and then back to work.
It makes him incredibly uneasy if that is how they went about dealing with this.
Cash, as you're looking at one of the bodies, like recently both their legs had been cut off, the scene switches as Bola finds the target. And you and Midnight are now staring out also at this heavily laden boat. As Karam and Bola have a discussion about what if we just blow up the front of it?
Hey, do you think that
Here.
guy looks a little too nice to be working out here?
Lil,
I'm gonna
You could-
roll. You know what? No, I'm not gonna roll for it. He
Think we-
turns his head and he looks at the thing. He's like, "Ho there, Tingers! What are you doing here?" Like, I didn't. And he like looks you up and down. He's like, "Oh, huh, I'm sorry, my mistake. I thought you were the other family. Were you
Well,
sent down here by our benefactors to make sure they didn't cause any more trouble?"
depends on which benefactor you're speaking of. You
He
know
looks
how
around. He's just like,
factions are in the city. Never can be too sure.
It's like, oh, we all have our own bosses. And he gives you a wink, and he raises one thumb up.
He sent you out here to collect us?
No, I wasn't expecting any of you here. But I would appreciate the aid. It has been getting more and more troublesome. Like, the mosquitoes were enough of a problem. Being harassed by, and again, I say this openly, by those long-eared antlers.
It happens, it happens. I do not blame you. We are much more new arrivals in the city.
No, your tribe is fine. We love your tribe. Us satyrs and tingers, we have much in common. And he, like, touches his antlers. Or, like, ram's horns situations. Just like, Samuel. And he
Caram,
puts his hand up and shakes it. He's like, excellent. You coming aboard, then?
yeah. We are.
Excellent. Come aboard. We sail out tonight. We have a skeleton crew, but with you, we won't have any problems then. I don't think you two look tough. It's like those other tingers. Oh, I sure hope we don't see them. I don't know why they're so mad at us taking this wood. It's not like anyone was using it.
From some
For
of
the
the
betterment of Dactyl. Each digit will get their share.
from what I hear from some of the older generation, there's a lot of traditions that go into it.
Tradition, and he spits over the side. What we need is industry. What we need is the furtherance of our kind. To spread the palm all the way across the echo.
This is going to be a rather rough job for the night, but we should be able to get through it, no problem.
Excellent.
How long
Come
do you think?
aboard.
How long
Okay.
do you think it'll be until we set off? And Karam's just following him aboard.
Just a couple of hours now. We wait till the sun sets. We move in darkness.
Ah, smart.
I'm gonna do a quick once over with my sister here, if you don't mind.
Of course, security should be paramount. I appreciate them for sending strong, strapping folks such as yourselves to aid us.
No need to do it with the compliments, though it is appreciated. Yeah, I think once they get close to the front, Karam looks at Bola. All right. Think they're trying to cut us loose?
I don't know. It's hard to deny that that's probably what this is, but I don't.
I mean, think about it. Up until the day that we're going to be free of our debt, he's having us do everything in secret. And suddenly now he wants us to make ourselves known. I had a feeling that things were fishy. But ugh, just too many things. Let's set the bomb at the front of the boat just in case. And if the plan, we go with him, and if it turns out that these guys are going for it, we blow the ship. Well, if it turns out they're not going to the thumb, we blow the ship. Either way, it gets the message sent. But if this is turned out for the thumb, we can say that we thought that this was meant for him after finding a bit more out. Thought that the plan got rushed ahead. Didn't want to risk causing the index to want him gone.
Alright, sounds like a plan to me.
Be ready in case we're getting played, but the index, there's not a lot for the index over the years. I don't see why they would send someone out here thinking that the thumb would be trying to pull one over on them.
Midnight, can you roll me 2d20?
Hey.
Just a lot of 18s today, Midnight. You see on the boat as like Caram had stepped across the gangway, I believe it's called, to get on. You see a symbol that was only caught by Caram's peripheral vision, but you can stare at it, and it looks like a thumbprint on this boat. This is Caram. You suddenly feel that in your in your mind, that you have become aware of seeing that because Midnight saw it.
Rom just kind of holds his head again. So I don't like this kind of stuff.
You alright?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Just focus on the mission. Happen to see anything else? Just seems like a normal shipment, right? I haven't found anything.
Yep, seems pretty normal so far.
Alright, let's follow through with this. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hash and Midnight, did you guys have anything that you wanted to check out before we change scenes in this stream?
Not that I can think of.
No, not real. Not that can I think of either.
All right. So let's move to this one. Oh, sorry. I wasn't aware if we were going to be on the ship or not for that one, so. So the ship has begun to move down the river under the cover of night. In the distance, you hear horrifying sounds, Caram. And everybody else, it is horrifying to you because they are bad for Caram. You hear the crackling of magic in the amorphous blob shapes of what was known to the Tingers as wisps. Heavy concentrations of magic that have no mind, no soul, but they wander like ball lightning through the forest of the Sterling Grove and just lash out with ridiculous amounts of magical energy. You see what appears like a hand made of lightning strike out and crash into a tree, obliterating it like a giant redwood ripped down by just aimless magic.
Of course, they'd be showing up tonight.
Samuel is just like, whoa, keep it calm, keep it calm. I heard they're drawn to emotions or magic. You two are tingers. I wouldn't expect you to have any magical items on you right now, correct? We're safe?
Of
Nope,
course.
just got some null on me.
Good, good. Gonna keep the lights low. This is the scary part. You see anything, say something, please. And be prepared. In the distance, some of these shapes begin to take on horrifying forms. Mouths and claws and huge antlers. One of them, in the woods, you see what can only be described as a moving shadow, taller than any of the trees, with a giant fluffy tail, making its way through. And the wisps begin to follow after that. And everybody roll me a 20-sider. Just one, though, because this is going to be a hard thing to see, but one of you guys might see it.
Another
Ah,
18!
Lucky number 18, I guess.
Bola never saw it, but everyone else did, because Caram saw it. Cash and Midnight can study it more. You see figures, like, stalking is the wrong word, but moving, like, behind the giant fluffy creature in the shadows. They are tingers, much like you, but you recognize them. Caram, you recognize them in your full mind. And after that, Cash and Midnight, you do as well. You see Gus and Aspera and Parse standing next to a giant chinchilla type creature. And behind them is a trail of absolute destructive magic. And every time it gets close, they speed up. But you see a tendril of the destructive magic branch out and lash at them as you see Gus turn around and just bat it away. Caram, you hear, even though you can't see them, because you only rolled an 11, so like you didn't actually get a good sight of it, but you hear the voice of Gus. Ha ha! Not this day! As the magic follows them. Midnight, you can smell blood in the air. Gus just took a massive hit right there. You can't see it from where you are, but you are aware of it. Cash, you as well, from being a doctor, are fully cognizant of the fact that Gus is in incredible pain. Whatever just struck him is strong enough to casually hurt Gus.
Seems we got lucky. Looks like the Tingers are out there already.
Yeah. Hopefully that means we can sneak by without any issues.
Samuel's just like, oh, go ahead.
Cash would look to Midnight with this look in his eyes, very unsure, because the need to help is there, but he doesn't want to interfere with anything going on.
I think Midnight is just smiling and trying to hold back from laughing because he's just enjoying the idea of eventually coming here.
At least Midnight's having a good time.
So, let's see here. Copy. So you put the explosive like here, right?
Yeah, it's essentially at the very front of all the, like, not even touching the logs. It's like hidden up here.
As you are standing on the place, you see, Caram, a flash from one of those old-timey cameras. You hear the charge up the, and then like flash, a big light. And if you look over, which I'm sure you did, you see Rux standing on the coast, taking a picture of you. And he just like looks at you and waves. As the explosive goes off as he presses a button down. Bola, you knew it was about to explode before Caram did. Caram, you weren't distracted by the flash. How did you stop this explosive explosion from taking Caram?
Is there a way she can kind of like basically just shove him into a safer position?
Oh, for sure. You can shove him right off the boat.
I mean, if that'll save him.
Oh, it most certainly will.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So yeah, I think she like rushes forward and is like, "Sorry," and just shoves him like full send off the boat.
Midnight. It comes bursting out of your chest. The Night Terror. It is trying its best to hold this boat together. It is trying to change what happened. Like its tendrils climbing into everything in the area. Like it is trying to reach out and grab Caram before he goes off this ship. It is trying to keep this ship together.
I think Midnight's going to draw out Giri's sword and try to slice at the Night Terror.
Absolutely. Give me 2d20. It's gonna be another 18. It's not. It's a tough choice.
Replacing that 6 with the 15.
That worked for me.
Oh, wait. Cat Horse shows the hand grenades is still up.
Oh shit, that's right.
Oh
It is-
no!
That is technically a 1.
Oh no!
Like this in the presence, like it is holding, like you reach back for the silver sword, it's not there, Midnight. Like is your hand just goes right through where you thought it was. And a voice very similar to Caram crying out is like, "No, not again!" As it is just clinging, the ship is coming back together. Bola, this is weird. Like, this is the first time that you felt different. And, like, you feel something's going on. Ash, the dream is, like, morphing into something else. You feel it around you. You feel a very similar nightmare energy as to, well, you know.
Hmm. Uh, he'd pull his journal, he'd grab his journal and his quill, but he'd stand for a moment because he's conflicted. Because he understands this moment is extremely important, but he can't. But the thought of letting his friend hurt again because of this, it's a lot, but unfortunately, you have to let it play out. And he'd use like words, he'd use word slash to cut at it again, to cut at it.
What's the word?
Actually, it's a phrase. It's "I'm sorry."
Ah, beautiful. Give me 3d20. Also, I think we see Ammon real quick. The camera would show Ammon standing in Oh,
Oh!
1.
Fuck.
Like Ammon, it with his eyes normally leaking that blue liquid. It is red. It is pure red as it is pouring down his face. It is not blood, but it is fervor. Yeah, absolutely. We can change things. Vala? So, are you changing one of the 17s to a 20? Is that what you're doing? So we get a reap and sow? I'm gonna let Vala do that. I gotta go get myself a cup of water real fast. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Sounds good.
Neat.
Heck yeah, let's go.
This is what the definition of "fuck me up, fam."
Mhm.
Okay.
Reap and sow.
Reap
Reap
and
and
sow.
sow. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Let's rock. So the 20, it worked. Like, Karam, you feel it all throughout in your mind. You feel that Cash is sorry for how this is going down. But the one part of it is fucking tragic. Like the ship splits apart aggressively as wood begins to splinter all around. As the ship is torn apart, and this wood sounds. No. You made it. You made it as good as it could be.
It's
Bola, don't
still
worry.
it's still a 1. Things are something good and bad is gonna happen, and unfortunately, the good part is it's playing out.
Yeah, that one was gonna be bad no matter what.
Just a
You
little
s-
flavor of drama.
Like the Captain Samuel comes out of the ship, and you see him clutching his heart as a piece of the stone wood is like pierced all the way through him as his boat's going down. He falls to his knees and opens a little locket, and like Cash, you see it looking over his shoulder, the vague image of a younger version of him standing next to what can only be a younger version of him, his son maybe, like curly haired, curly ram's horns, wearing goggles up over his head. And it's just a heart in it as he collapses and then falls into the river. As the ship is torn apart all around you, and multiple camera flashes from the coast. Rom, you fall in the water, gurgling, barely able to catch your breath, flying down. There's a quick glimpse, just the quickest glimpse of Bola as she hits the water.
Yeah, Karam's going for her. He knows it's difficult, and he's gonna go for it.
Roll me 2D. Oh, roll me just 1d20. We know how this ends. You're getting so close, Caram. You can feel it. You're almost there. This time you're gonna make it. And then you see a hand reach out and very powerfully, as strong as we know that they are, grabs Bola by the scruff of her neck and pulls her onto the shore. Then sees you swimming against the river and just waves ta-ta as the course of the river takes you.
I think the last thing he'll hear from Karam as he goes down the current is, "This isn't over! You will pay for what you've done!" I think that's all he can get out before the river takes him.
Ash, with your 20, you are able to just basically walk on this water. You can follow a thread of Bola. And it's not just imagination. Okay, we're back. We're back,
Hi,
everybody.
hello.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Okay. So, Cash. Wait, what was the last thing everybody saw? What was the last thing I said?
Since Cash rolled a 20, he was following a thread, and I think about that point, that's about when the stream died.
So, Cash, you were able to follow a very similar thread that looked like the hallway that was leading you here, and you see Bola, worse for wear significantly, like bruised, beaten, like sitting in a jail cell as Donovan approaches the cell. And he's just like, good work as always. Thank you so much. It would have been easier if you both had just gone away. But having a patsy, having a stool pigeon, not stool pigeon, that's a tattletale. What's a scapegoat is always better. As he throws a newspaper into your cell. It's like, thank you again. And on the newspaper it says, mass destruction of lumberjack, of shipment of wood, blamed on the Tingers. The Tingers at fault. Like, war with the Tingers has begun. Dactylor versus, the Tingers. It's just like, no Tingers are to be trusted. And it's just that after that after that. Political cartoons showing, like, all Warpletingers are in line with each other and they hate production. That they hate the advancement of society. It's just like, down with Tingers, the spread of the palm. It's like, take over Echo. Big ears, big problems. And we'll hold you here for now. There will be a trial, of course. We are nothing if not civilized. As he like blows smoke into your cell. And then he just flicks a cigar butt in the room. Oh, no pithy remarks?
No. All I'm gonna say is that I hope you don't think for a second that you're gonna get away with this, you fucking traitor!
Like, oh, I've already gotten away with this. This has advanced my career so much. Thank you. And it's just like, and if there's any chance that your brother's not dead, like, he will never be welcome back in Dactyl. As like the newspaper shows you and Caram standing on the ship, and also there's also a picture of you all holding the bomb. It's like, tisk tisk. After everything Dactyl's done for you and your family, this is how you repay it. And that's when you are all ejected from the door.
Huh.
And Caram wakes up.
Does Caram have that information or Cash?
You have that, yeah, you can have that information for sure.
I think Caram is just laying there for a bit. Not saying anything.
Is the red version of the blue still flowing from Ammon?
I don't think it's still flowing. I think we might see like a gradient situation, like at the very tips.
Ammon will just kind of like wipe the gunk off of his face and look to everyone and just go, Did it work? Is everyone okay? Accounted for? No extra bodies?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think we pulled it off. Got the information we need. Not pleasant, but
No.
I'm not actually putting you closer. I just want to poke your head above, like, the Harbinger's head is all.
Yeah, it's just that as he's probably sitting on the floor, we'll open his journal to retrieve the card.
I was debating breaking the card with the 1, but I don't think I want to. I want that card to be useful for other backstories.
Fair.
You said successful. Does that mean you got the answers you were looking for? It worked?
I feel as though that it may be the case, but then he's gonna look at Caram. It's really not a question for either of us to answer.
I think at that point, Karam just gets up. And I think the first thing Ammon will notice is just there is just a complete lack of emotion on Karam. He is completely unreadable to him right now. Just walks up to Ammon, like getting up completely. Walks up to him, pats him on his shoulder. Thanks for that. I have some things I need to take care of. I will be busy for the next little bit. I have some favors to call in.
I hope it all goes well, and I know the answer probably wasn't what you wanted to hear, but I hope it's what you needed. And if you need anything, I'm here for you.
Karam nods, pats him on his shoulder, and just as he's walking out. For this one, it's probably best that this is not handled by the Wander crew.
Do you need help with what you were doing?
I'll call for it if I need it.
you better.
Whatever you're thinking about doing, there is no way in hell that you'd think that any of us, regardless of us being a part of the crew, would let you do this by yourself. Right?
I know you
Especially
all
not
well
myself and Cass.
I know you all well enough to know that you wouldn't. But for the start of this, I'll handle the preparations. Some is going to fall by the end of this all.
As Crom walks out of the room, just like Back in Black starts blasting, and the credits begin to roll.
Nice.
All 3 of the sequel games have been like fade to black, then back to black, and now it's like the next one is back in black. It's the Black trilogy. And yeah, that is the end of this one. That is Karam's backstory. That is taking what Karam gave me of his backstory and combining it with what we know of the Echo. Like, that is not to say that Karam's backstory has changed exactly. Like, he still remembers the other one, but this one is to fit it into this world. That is how I'm going to want to use the backstories going forward, to show how when the world became similar, when the overlap happened, when the art turned this world into the world you guys have always been at, the backstories are just going to do just that. Like, how have you always been here? Like, what was your story here? so that you guys can start meeting NPCs that you already know. I hope that's good with everybody.
Sounds neat.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I was not expecting it, but it was fun.
It like exactly what Warlord just said, showing how Echo rationalizes the overlapping stories. Of course, and like a little spoiler, like not even a huge spoiler, because because Isaac was from Yoke, and so was Akana, but Yoke isn't like exists anymore. They are both from Yoke. So like that is how I want to do it. I think it's like a neat idea, and we got to see Bola again. Now you know where she is. Now you know what that what your next sequel game is gonna be. We're gonna have a little bit of a jailbreak, if that's all. Just a little jailbreak. Try not to make enemies with Dactyloid if you want to. Like, to be fair, the whole city, I love Dactyloid a lot. It's a great city. The Thumb is the only ones we've seen right now, and we only saw them today. The Thumb is that. The other four fingers, completely different cultures. All of them hate magic, though. Just blanket statement. That city does not like magic.
This is gonna be fun.
I hope everybody had a good time. Thank you so much, Ammon, for like coming in and like doing like cameo things. Thank you so much, Shy, for coming in and doing like the Bola gameplay. And thank you, Cash and Midnight, for just being like nightmare investigators.
Just being the casual observers.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks for having me. That was I enjoyed that.
Rob needs to stop being around dream stuff.
Yes! And stop calling me for the dream stuff. No, please keep calling me for the dream stuff.
Look, all I'm saying is that all this started because, you know, I happened to meet Dreamworm for Cash's first game, and then I inhaled a bunch of dream crystals.
Why is that now instantly my problem?
Because I'm your problem.
Ah.
So, this game was great so far. We are on episode 5, but like we've only played 4. All 4 of this arc's games have been absolutely amazing. I have absolutely no doubt that tomorrow's game is going to be just as good. I'm really hoping. No reason to not assume that it will be. But so what happened today was we saw how we are going to be moving forward with the backstory games. It's just like we've tied them in with Ammon because Ammon did so good the first time he did one of them. So with Pollux and Castor, so it's just like I'm just gonna keep that going. It's fun.
I'll be everyone's problem. It's okay.
Yeah, see, just spread it around. So we saw that Caram's sister Bola is still very much alive. We saw that in this world, Caram worked for the Dactyloid, like mob family known as the Thumb. They are dwarven people, mostly, and they have very, very big 1930s mob vibes, which explains why Caram has very 1930s mob vibes. Like we know that there are 2 distinct groups of Tingers. There's the Pym family, and there is the Caram's family. There are 2 different ones. One of them herds magic. One of them wants nothing to do with magic. We've seen that whatever is in the Sterling Thicket is immensely powerful. Powerful enough to casually hurt Gus, which is a big deal. We also know that the Thumb like don't give a fuck about the people that they hurt by like their willingness to just keep sending body after body, and if like you're getting hurt, cut off the limb and get back to work. Like we've seen that. And then we also saw the fact that they, to gain more power, were more like not just willing, we wanted to frame the Tingers for terrorist actions, and it worked. So Bola has at this point already been tried for this, and she has been found guilty. And she is sitting in a cell waiting for her execution. And it's just like, unless somebody can stop it, then it's just back in black. I think, yeah, that was it. Everybody have a good time. I had a good time.
Oh yeah.
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 Yep.
Alrighty then. Well, until tomorrow, where we have Carrie, we have Corey, the Ento Corey, not any of the other like 16 Corys we have in the community. We have Lurid, and we have Toast. So thank you guys all so much for coming and playing. Bye forever. Say bye forever.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.